hey there. I need to make a call. Do you have somewhere where I can plug this in? Hi folks, welcome back to another episode of RDR. Something special today, a little retro tech review. We have here the Nokia C16 mobile phone. Mobile is a stretch, but it is a mobile phone, or as we referred to these in the 90s, 80s and 90s, the bag phone. So what is this thing? Well, before cell phones were something you carried in your pocket, or like me, on your hip, like a nerd, we had them in a bag, and they plugged in to a cigarette lighter, which I showed you just a second ago. So you could take this with you in your car, which is typically where you saw these. Now, yes, it comes with an arm strap, so you could walk around with this for some reason, probably mostly just for transport from one vehicle to another, because truly it was meant to be used in your car. Now, my grandma got one of these in the early 90s, and I remember it well because this was revolutionary in terms of being able to talk to someone while on the road without having to find a payphone. Cell phones, while they existed, nobody in the 99% really owned one. It was a very niche thing, very expensive. These were expensive too. The cell phone plans for these were not cheap. And I remember being with my grandma in Minneapolis, Minnesota, trying to get in touch with someone and having to drive around to find the proper signal to be able to make a call. So while you could make a call while you were moving, like actually driving, it really wasn't ideal. The signal bounced, good to bad so much that it was like you had to find a spot, stop, and use it. So it's a bag phone more than a cell phone. It's kind of its own category of mobile phone. So without further ado, let's just take a look at what we got going on here. So you're also going to notice I got one of these, which is basically your cigarette lighter to normal AC power here. So we can use this not in an automobile. That's going to be needed because there's no normal plug-in for this type of device. So let's just go ahead here and just see what's in the bag. Now, normally on these kinds of videos, you've probably noticed with the few I've done so far, I like to clean this stuff up and show that. That's not going to be the case here because this needed extensive cleaning as soon as I brought it into my home because the prior owner smoked copious amounts of cigarettes, or at least someone who owned this did, because it reeked so bad of cigarettes that it was almost unbearable getting it home. So while it's in pristine condition, getting the stench of cigarette out of this bag and electronic device was rough. And while I pretty much tackled it almost 100%, it still has remnants here and there of a cigarette smell, which I think is just permanently pressed into this leather fabric and device. And that's just the way it is. However, it's 1,000% better than it was when I bought it, or picked it up. So let's go ahead and open it up here and take a look at the C16 itself. Now this phone came out in June of 1994. And to be honest, there's not a whole lot about it on the internet that I could find. The Nokia Museum, all it presents to us is a picture of the phone showing what it looked like. So the Nokia Museum website does take this into account as a phone they made, but there's not much more info on that. Trying to dig into finding PDF copies of manuals and pretty much anything else was a strikeout. After many Google searches, I just didn't find a whole lot on this device other than its manufacturing date and the fact that it runs off the AMPS 800 device. So that's about it. It has a monochrome display. It runs off AMPS 800 and it came out in June of 1994. not my best success when doing research, unfortunately. So I kind of just gave in and threw in the towel and thought, well, at least I know when it came out. So in 1994, if you had one of these suckers, you were in luck. Now, as far as the original price goes, I also couldn't find that either, but I'm pretty sure it was up there. This has become a collector's item, and today it runs anywhere from $20 I see to $100. So that's pretty interesting considering I got this basically for free. So there's the device. Here you'll see we have, so I untangle this mess I'm making. We got the plug for your cigarette lighter, which will nicely go in here. If this was in a car, that's what you'd do to get your power. We'll save that for later when we try to power this on. Now, I have not tried to power this on. So there's that. And of course, the network for this is long gone. So there will be no way to make a call, but at least we might be able to check out some of the menus and stuff. So here we have where the power would house. We have here where the phone hangs up. This is still very much like a landline phone. It still hangs up. So if you have this in your car, normally like in the centerpiece of your car, you keep this open like this and you pick it up. Hello? Piece of cake, right? And it actually still sticks on there very well. It doesn't want to move. It's almost like it's pretty much magnetized in there. And it takes a little work to get that off. So there is that. Now the AMPS 800 modem, so to say, is housed in the back here. And I don't want to rip this whole thing out, but you'll see here that here we go. We have this box that sits in the back and is pre-hooked up. What is missing from this device and is unfortunate is the antenna. Now, typically this would have an antenna that you could hook onto there, I believe. At least that's what I found from pictures of slightly different variations of this model of phone. But, I mean, overall, again, in incredibly good condition. And, yeah, I really can't complain. If you are curious, this was made in Hong Kong. So, that's like the entire device right there. Is you got this in the back, you got this pouch here. Typically, I'm assuming there would be a manual here, but this is 100% empty, and I have no idea what this little flap is and this is supposed to hold. I really couldn't tell you what that was for. But in here, there's nothing except the stench of cigarettes. So we'll just leave that in there. And again, the device itself is in impeccable condition other than that horrendous stench. So let's not waste any time. Let's hook this thing up to some power and just see what we got going on. And let's just see if it works at all. So let's hit the menu here. So we have menu A, menu B, enter PIN code. No idea. There's not a whole lot going on here. Try to call a number, you get dialing off. Horn, no alert. Thing is loud. Next menu. There's our English. Redial is off. I mean, I don't know how to turn it on. Another data link off. OOM11. Don't know what that means. I don't know what that means either. One touch is on. That's fantastic. Now, clicking on the menu, you're going to see here, okay, so maybe we do have some access here. Ah! Turn some stuff on and off. I don't know what horn is. We'll turn it on. Ah, so we can actually mess around with these menus for the most part. The numbers will give you the menu as well as this. And there's not really a whole lot to show you here. It's just, here are some options, and I don't have the manual to really know what any of them mean. Not that it would matter, because we wouldn't be able to make a call anyway. However, doesn't look like we can even type in a number. Let me see if I can get the heck out of here. Oh, here we go. Try to send that. No service. Of course. My classic phone number as a kid right there. Let's try with area code. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it works. It works great. And it's loud and obnoxious. And it's a bag phone. Yeah. So what else is there to say about the C16? Well, the only other thing I can really tell you is it doesn't have the only phone name of C16, the Alcalink or something like that. Alcatel had a C16 smartphone of the same name. Has absolutely nothing to do with this, but that's a thing. So that was like the one fun fact I can really find. Now, other than being a collector's item, it's pretty much impossible to get this to work. There's just not much you can do. It's just too dang old. Plus, I don't have the antenna, and why would you want to use this day and age? It's absolutely antique in terms of phones. But, I mean, it's a bag phone. It's cool nonetheless. So, yeah, I'm glad I have it. I really found this at a steal. I really don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it could be a cool piece to have in the office. I'm not really sure. It could be a good thing to try to see if a collector wants it. Considering the good price I got for this, I probably could have gotten a lot more, or could get, a lot more if I did do some sort of eBay sale with this. But it's hard to say. I really don't know what the market is for someone who'd want to pay 75 to 100 bucks. 20, I could see. So we'll see what happens with this. I think for 20 bucks, though, I'll probably just keep it. It's just a pretty cool relic that will probably only appreciate over time and become that much more of a collector's item as time goes on. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. It works, and it's just a cool little item and nostalgic reminder of what phones were like in the past. Thanks so much for watching. Have an awesome day.